The truth.
Alrighty, we are back again with Audie, and today we're going to be doing the virtue panel or trait tree panel. It's called a number of things. I was going to divide this up into 2 videos, but you know what, since both of those things are on the same panel, we're just going to put it in one video for the sake of ease and continuity. And I'm just here with my baby mini Obius. We're enjoying an evening on the lake with the stars and the crickets. So anyway, I believe your trait panel opens to you at level 6 or 7. I think it's 6. Anyway, the default key to open it is J. However, you can rekey that again to anything you want, or you can click the arrow down here and select traits. Just ignore my UI appearance. I have a skin applied because he's a dwarf and dwarves are awesome. So the buttons are all in the same place, so just don't worry about how mine looks. It all works the same. So open your traits panel and you will be met with this page. Now, of course, I'm a mini, so my skills and the names of each tree are going to be different. They're different for every class. Read the stuff on your screen. I know I said in my first video to really make sure to read the text on your screen. Read the stuff on here because it explains what each line does. And it's not the same for every class. For example, blue for a mini is healing. For another class, blue might be tanking. You know, red for me is damage here, and yellow is kind of an in-between buffing tree. That will change depending on your class, so make sure you read these, decide what you want, and then you can pick which one. So for now, we're going to go for red, so click Spec 2. Now we're into red. As you can see, it's highlighted here. Now, you can also see the other 2 are available, but we'll get into that in a second. Right off the bat, I think both free-to-play and VIP players get access to 2 trait tree setups. So I picked red this time. In my second one, I could pick either blue or yellow or red, whatever I wanted. And you can switch between these every 30 seconds. Now, you can have access to as many more of these as you want. You just have to buy them with Mithril coins, which you buy in the store for real money. So you could have, 20 trait tree setups if you want for however, many different setups you could imagine. Anyway, so I've picked red. Now, you will invest the points that you get, these are skill points, as you level into the game, obviously. The skill point cap right now, I believe, is 94. And you get these in a variety of ways. You get them by leveling. So you'll get one for every other level that you get on the odd level. So 7, 9, 11. You will get some for finishing certain quest chains later on in the game. And you will also get some, if you watched my last video about deeding, you will get some of these from doing your class deeds. So if we open our deed panel, you can see here, class deed panel, tab, sorry. Pick any of these. You can see they all award class trait points. You need these, okay? Max these out by the end of the game. You don't want to get to end game and have 65 points that you earned and you're, however many, 30-something off from the cap and be so underpowered that you die to the squirrel that stands beside you, right? So make sure you're keeping up with these. Anyways, right now I'm only 16, so I only have 5. It is up to you how you spend these in the tree that you chose. Obviously, again, I'm going to say this every video, probably at least 50 times. Read the stuff on your screen! Read the things. If you hover your cursor over things in this game, tooltips pop up. Make sure you know what you're doing. Read these, understand how they work, okay? And understand that when you invest points into these, you're going to get the different effects that it says, obviously. As you invest points and fill up the tree, these side ones will become available. And again, just read them as they come up. Now, as these side ones come up, they will interact with skills that you already have and either change them or improve them. So make sure you understand and remember that once you hit, certain ones of these, that it might affect an effect of a skill that you used to use all the time and now it does something else. So keep that in mind. Other than that, it's pretty much your preference. I advise people, and I see this question asked so often, which trait tree is the best for, fill-in class? Which trait tree is the best for Guardian? Which trait tree is the best for Minstrel? Whatever. Honestly, it is totally up to you. You can solo the entire game from level 1 to level 130 on all classes in any tree that you want. You could do the most useless, silly tree that hardcore gamers would look at you and be like, what are you doing? And you would still manage to get to end level by yourself, no problem. So my advice is to learn them all, because if you plan on raiding or being in a group, you will be expected to be versatile and able to switch between trees as needed. So as a minstrel, I am a healer. That is my base job. I'm a healer. I am not a DPS toon. I'm not meant there to do damage. So if I play from level 5 to level, 105 in only red, and I never try red is damage, and I never try blue, which is healing, and I get into my first raid and everyone's like, okay, great, we got a healer, and you go, actually I'm damage, you're going to get kicked from the raid right away, because as a mini, your core job is to healing. So I highly, highly suggest you learn all of the trees in any toon that you take, because at least when I lead a raid, I expect to be able to ask someone to switch a tree, and they have that ready to go. It is easier to learn at lower levels as you go along, obviously, because you don't have this whole thing filled up, so you only have a couple skills, so it's easy to switch back and forth and be like, oh yeah, yellow, red does this, and yellow does this. Easy. So for now, I'm not even going to look at what these do. I'll just do this for the sake of the video to show you what happens. So we'll add some of these in. Okay, so, I added all 5 points. Every 5 you invest will light up a new one of these on the side. So this first one here, all ballads now grant you a tactical damage buff. Yay me. So that means all my ballad skills, which are these, major ballad, perfect ballad, now grant me 5% tactical damage. Yay me. Now, you can invest points into the other trees while you're in a specific tree. So for example, if you right click, it will unselect these, as you can see. I'll back down here. I picked red tree, so I'm going to get all of the bonuses on this side, whether I put all my points in red or not. So I could do one here, and if I wanted, I could go over here and be like, yeah, I want this yellow skill. But notice what that did. Whereas your main tree, it costs you 1, C4, invest 1 point. If you try to invest in the tree you're not in, it will cost you 2 each time. So it costs double the points. However, because the cap is 94 points, you could fill up every single skill in red tree and still get halfway down in another tree because you have that many extra points. So honestly, it's normal to hybrid. Everybody hybrids. That's standard. You're going to hybrid whether you want to or not, because you have that many points. So that's not a concern. In the lower levels, I would suggest sticking to your one tree, just because you don't have enough points to waste 2 for one skill when you're that new. I mean, you can if you've played the class before. Go ahead. I honestly though, if you want to, go for it. It's totally up to you. But I would suggest just picking one. So anyways, we're just going to invest here, whatever. Okay, so now that I've invested all my points, do not forget to hit apply. If you do not hit apply and you close this window, none of these will actually, apply. So you'll be running around thinking you have the benefits from this, and you don't. So make sure you hit apply. Yes, there we go. Now, again, let's say I'm running around by myself, blowing shit up as a mini, yay me, and someone's like, hey, can you help my raid heal? Sure. I'm not going to be expected to go in red in a raid because you're not a damage toon. So right away, I can go to my second setup, which is blue, as you can see here highlighted. Now, you can name these, by the way. These are just standard trait tree too. I could rename this to healing. There. And I could rename my number 1 to, damage or whatever I wanted. Same thing, nothing new here. Just the points invested Well, of course, the difference is all your skills are going to be different now. So make sure that when you switch trees like this, you read your skills that you already have, because often they will change. So for example, this skill here, when I'm in blue tree, is called Anthem of the Third Age Resonance. And I'm not going to read it all out for you, but basically it's plus 10 outgoing healing and minus 25% to all skill inductions. Great. If I switch to red tree, which is DPS, this skill now totally changes. Look at that. Anthem of the Third Age. Now it adds 10% to my call damage. It is the same skill, you know, like almost the same tooltip at the same place, but it totally changed. So make sure that if you flip trees while you're learning, to look at all your skills, because the effects from them will change as you go. Let's see, let's just rename this here. There we go. That's about it for skill trees. Honestly, you get to just play around with this and do whatever you want. I'm going to skip down one because virtues are the next most important thing. Now again, free-to-play players, you're going to have this restricted. I think you can't access all of these. I think you have to buy them, although I'm not 100% sure. I've been VIP for so long, I don't remember all of the things you guys are restricted to. But anyways, these are virtues, very important. I went over these briefly in my last video, but I did say I would make a video on these, so we'll go over them. Basically, as you level, for a VIP anyway, these slots will open, and you can see close to level 17, close to level 23. As you level, these open. Now you can see here some are gray and some are colored. When you first open this panel, they will all be gray, which means you have earned 0 ranks in any of them. These virtues give you additional stats to your character, which are vital. I won't get into, you know, which ones should I use for which class. I use pretty much the same 4 on every single character regardless. And those 4 are the ones with mitigations. So we'll use Fidelity as an example. You can see there it says Tactical Mitigation and Physical Mitigation. Those are your MITs, basically your defenses. You are harder to kill if you have higher mitigations. It mitigates damage. That's why they're called that. So I use the same 4 highest MIT stats on all my tunes, and then my 5th one is kind of like a flip one that I can use, you know, depending, it changes on which class I'm on. So when you first open this panel, these will all be gray. And of course, you earn XP in these, like I said in my last video, by doing deeds. Go into these and see. Right here, see? 2,000 virtue experience. These are virtues. You need virtue experience. That's how you get them. Deeding for virtues. To make your virtue level, you can see here this one says earning. The game doesn't automatically pick one for you at the start. You have to pick one. So make sure you do that right off the bat, because if you don't, you'll be earning XP and it will be wasted. So to open one up, pick whichever one you want. We'll say Honesty, click on the picture, and you can see now it says earning underneath it. As soon as you hit rank 1, it will turn colored. It will stop being gray. And then you know that you can slot it up here. So if I right click these, they all come off. As soon as you get 1 rank in here, you can put it up here. So you can either drag it, or you can right click it, and it'll go up there on its own. And so yeah, go through these, really read them, see what is best for you. Again, like I said, I use all the MIT ones, but if you want to do something else, you do whatever you want. That's totally up to you. But make sure you always have one selected as earning. When this is full, so these will open as you level. So you can see here, this one is at 2 of 8. The highest level that you can get these, I believe right now, is 68. But it shows only 8. That's because I'm only a level 16 character. As I level up, more levels of these will become available. So it'll go, you know, 10, 20, whatever. So for example, right now, if I was to deed and not gain any levels, I could cap these all at 8. Like this one, Charity, here's at 7 of 8 already. I could get that to 8 of 8 and it would stay there. It would gain no more XP. Once you get a virtue to cap, whatever your cap happens to be, make sure you choose a new one to earn. Because if you don't and you earn XP, the game will then decide which virtue it puts that XP in. Normally it is the next one that you have slotted here if it's not already full, but if not, I can't remember if it goes in alphabetical order, if it goes your next highest or next lowest. Anyways, doesn't matter. It will pick one for you, so don't let it pick one for you. Keep an eye on it and pick what you want to earn next. As well, these are attached to your skill trees. So I'm in red right now, DPS tree. So when I see my DPS tree, I go down here, I click this. This is my DPS setup. It's not actually, but this is just, we'll just say this is my DPS setup. You can see right here, DPS. Now, if I switch my skill tree to blue, it will switch your virtue tree as well. So you obviously want different stats if you're in damage or healing or support or whatever. So you can customize this to match which extra stats you would like depending on the tree that you have. So remember that if you switch trait trees, it will switch this as well. And if you haven't invested any, like I haven't, I would now be running around in blue tree, this, with no traits invested, okay, which puts me at a big detriment. So I'll just pick 3 random ones, whatever. So now you can see here, healing. So that's my healing setup. It's not actually, but we'll just use that for the sake of ease. And yeah, and you can mix and match as much as you want with as many of your trait trees as you want. So we'll switch back to my red one. Easy. That's about it for these. These are super basic. Again, you deed for them, but very important. As well, if you'll notice here, you can see the stats, the 3 stats on the top, so tactical mastery, will, and critical. And then underneath it says passive bonuses. Now, when you drag these up here, these are the only 5 that you're going to get the effects from, those top 3 effects. But those passive bonuses, so for example, we'll go down here to idealism, passive bonuses says +4 max morale. You are getting the passive bonuses from all of these virtues, whether you have them slotted or not. So it could be worth your while to rank these up as you level in the game, even the ones you're not using. I would suggest ranking up just the ones you're using first, obviously. But at end game, you know, you're going to get the passive bonus here, +4 morale. You're going to get passive bonus here, +4 morale. You know, passive bonus there, another +4 morale. Some are health, some are damage. Okay? So those are really good to have. Are they all morale? Oh, there we go. There's a damage. I know there's a damage one. You can see this one. It's a physical mastery and tactical mastery. Those are damage ratings. You will get the passives from there. So it's up to you if you level all of them. You know, if you like the grindy thing, go for it. That's about it for virtues. It's pretty easy. Last but not least, these are kind of, they're okay. They're a very minimal part of the game. And these are your racial virtues. Now, as you can see, I have a bunch of mine locked. That's because I'm a low level. And if you hover your cursor, it'll tell you, closed until level 19. I can't remember if free-to-plays get these open or not. Honestly, I don't think so, but who knows? I haven't been a free-to-play in a long time. So as you can see here, these will open as I level. And these are going to be different depending on your race. So I'm a dwarf, so I automatically have an additional 8 fate. I don't know, because I'm a dwarf. These don't scale. So when I'm level level 130, I'm still going to have only +8 fate. So that is super lame. It's basically useless. A lot of these traits are pretty much useless. The ones you really want on all your classes are these. So mine's dwarf axe damage bonus. The hobbit will be club damage bonus. The man will be sword damage bonus. Whatever, +5 to whatever your weapon is. Definitely get this one. And then just look through which other ones. Some of them are okay, like the return to skills are nice, which means you can port back to your house. Some of them are stuns, which is nice, but they have a really long cooldown. It just depends. Like, just read through these. They're kind of fun to do at lower levels, but honestly, they're really not important. Like, this adds 1 to those 3 virtues, but 1 to those virtues is, like, almost negligible. So it's really up to you what you pick. These are just fun kind of things. Now, they will be earned in different ways. A lot of these are earned by doing enmity deeds, they're called. So it'll pop up and it'll say, enmity of the dwarves, kill 50 wolves or something. and it will say on your deed panel in the rewards that the enmity deed is to earn you one of these. It's pretty basic. Yeah, you don't have to worry about these much. You can just drag and drop them in here as they come, but it's not really a huge deal. It's kind of just an extra plus thing. Let's see, I think that's it for the trait tree panel. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to message me. Yeah, it's pretty basic. You get to just explore and do as you like. There are also tons of guides online once you get further in. If you really want to focus on a specific tree, specific hybrid build, specific job, there are great guides online. Just make sure you find an updated one, because this has changed somewhat in the past years. And people will say, you know, like there's trait tree builders and trait tree guides. They're really good. So yeah, you can pretty much find everything online. And other than that, I think that's it for this video. Thanks guys. See you next time.